Good morning, welcome everybody to my Twitch stream and lichess International Master Willam Paschall. We are just getting warmed up here, dropping pieces in store for today. We're going to be playing everything between 5+3 and 8+3 blitz and classical chess against viewers. Subscribers can have first chance to play. I noticed that my friend Ayesta has arrived, world loser. Another good friend of the stream, and also one of our moderators here. What's up, guys? Yesterday was really a tough simul for me doing the faster time control, but nevertheless there were still some interesting games. I much prefer doing the longer time control. We're gonna try to do that, but it's hard because my time is limited, with Sundays being the only chance I get to play some tournament games in the upcoming months. Welcome, good morning. Constant Change is here. He's had some connection issues the last couple times I tried to play him. Mastermind 14 challenging me and World Loser. I'm going to get started here. I feel like playing some chess. Mastermind 14. Unfortunately, I tried to play a warm-up game and I just dropped a piece against like a 1900 player. I had a really good opening after like 10 moves. He was in trouble, but I just simply overlooked one of my pieces was about to be captured. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's just an internet rating. E4. What are we going to do? Let's try something like, fun. Chess Pro 02. A new subscriber. Thanks for doing that. You know, it's funny, the other day that Chess Pro 02 subscribed and he beat me in a blitz game in the Mora Gambit, well, classical or whatever. I claimed that I had never lost to the Mora Gambit in a tournament game, but yesterday during my simul, one of my students, I guess, did some research on it and found out that I technically had lost to the Mora Gambit in a tournament game. There was a game that went e4, c5, d4, pawn takes pawn, c3, d takes c, bishop c4, that I lost to this guy Saudin Robovic in a very good tournament of mine. The only game that I lost, but I kind of didn't classify it in my mind as losing to the Mora Gambit because the guy didn't take the pawn on c3. He just like put his bishop on c4, and I was just like categorized it as something just weird, you know. But I guess technically that's the Mora Gambit too. I was kind of stunned when the guy did that, honestly. Okay, the what is this called? Oh yeah, the Roman Gigiashvili attack. It's a very old opening, the Scotch Four Knights or whatever. Wait, you know, this is called the Scotch Gambit, right? Yeah, it's not dangerous for black, really. I guess you can also play. Well, there's not much else you can do here. Never mind. It depends on what white does now. I mean, you can castle, you can play e5. This is the Roman variation. Now, I guess d5, what is that? Is that the Max Lang? Probably more fun than, is that? It's probably more fun than the other lines, actually. I don't know the theory well enough here to be confident, but anyway, most people play, you know, knight e4 there. No, this is the Roman system. Okay, it's only the Max Lang or whatever when they take on f6. Roman Gigiashvili was selling this opening in a lot of videos 20 years ago, and I just, you know, it's okay for white, but I never really like to see people playing it because it's kind of just like a routine robotic line, and I don't know. I just thought like you're selling yourself short if you follow this videotape variation. I mean, there's more to chess than just you know, simple lines. Anyways, I guess this is the main variation. I haven't really played a lot with black. A handful of blitz games, and I've watched a lot of people. I've watched a lot of games, you know, between other players in this line over the years, of course, because it is pretty popular. I guess it's a fairly solid variation for white. Objectively, you know, Roman is like giving people something solid and easy to play, basically. But I guess experienced players know, exactly what they're doing. And here, I guess I'm supposed to play bishop c5. I'm having trouble remembering now. Yeah, bishop c5, like f3, knight g5, I think. There are other ways to play. I guess black can also play c5 himself. It would be good if I knew what I was doing. Chess Pro was toying around with his lichess account and wanted to sign out and accidentally closed my account. Right? Okay. Anyway, like, I don't mind playing people, but try not to have a profane name. I'm not going to sit there on my stream with your profanic name asking me questions. It's not that it offends me that much, but it's like rude for everyone, so I want this to be a family-friendly channel. Alright, f4. He just goes f4. I mean, I think I'm supposed to go back to e4. I'm just wondering what the deal is with knight e6. I guess it's nothing. But black has to be careful about timing stuff like f6. I did sit there and watch Roman Gingiashvili play like 100 blitz games in this line over the period of a couple of years. Sometimes we used to play together, and not together, like, I would just sit there, watch him, and occasionally say, look, you're hanging your queen, Roman. Because it's really bad whenever you would make suggestions while someone else is playing, like, you always just mess them up. I mean, it's never good to do that if you're hanging out with your friend, to say, like, hey, do this. Besides being, like, slightly immoral, it's like, it's usually just leading to helping your friend make blunders. Too many cooks spoil the soup, as they say. Consultation chess is very, very hard. But anyway, that's basically the vast experience I have in this variation. Watching Roman play with white and watching some random people play with black. You need to challenge him, he will play you. Chess Pro 2, what are you talking about? Oh, you're talking to them. I'm like assuming you're talking to me. Yeah, dude. I just don't want people to have like, perverse names like popping up in Twitch chat constantly. Yeah, now isn't E5 overextended here? I guess it's not that simple, is it? It is that simple. Yeah, I have Queen E8. Unless I've walked into some kind of trap. Mastermind extended his center too far. Life is not that easy. I highly recommend Roman's videos if you do play this line. I mean, it's not like the theory changes. It's basically like a positional line that's been known for like over 100 years. Roman just repackaged it as like his variation. He used to play this against computers all the time. I mean, it really is. It is a very Nimzovician sort of positional line. Anyway, guys, welcome to the stream. Sorry I have to ban the perverse account names, but I have no choice. It's kind of like, disrespectful to everyone. So what's up? It's Monday. I guess if Chess Pro made a new account, we're going to be seeing that a little bit later. So this is just hanging here, which is fortunate for me, because otherwise I would be very, very sorry right now. I mean, if these pawns roll, that's That's usually White's plan. Mastermind got a little bit, he got a little bit frisky, trying to push it too fast. You know, now White is lost because he's lost his center. At least, you know, theoretically lost. Maybe there's still some practical chance. Yeah, I mean, you know, Gingy's not really a presenter, you know. I don't know. He just has tons and tons of ideas. He's very charismatic in a way, you know. He's kind of rough around the edges, and he tends to, like, you know, tell you to F off in caps really primitively if you get on his bad side, but he knows a lot. He was like a coach to me, and he knows a lot of openings. He's a very good technique. I haven't seen him in like 15 years. I don't even know if he's still alive. I assume so. I would hear if you would hear if anything happened to him, but he's getting up there. Just a very, very difficult person to get along with. And I managed to do it for a couple of years, but eventually something came between us. So that was it. All right, we're going to back this off here and prepare f6, basically, which would be the normal plan anyway. Anyways, oh, Chess Pro. Yeah. Yeah, he lost f5, of course. He was trying to unravel those pawns, which is usually the right idea, just a little too fast. So I guess f6. I don't see any tactics. We're really close. I mean, this rook is unprotected, and there's the bishop on c5. But I'm going to have to be a bit careful about my c7 pawn. Though if he takes, I can just double up on the f-file, triple up on the f-file. This should be pretty fatal for White. I mean, he can't support e5, and he's going to have to take. Then I can play queen f7 and the other rook to f8. So it's probably just lost for White. One way or another, I'm going to like triple down the f-file, and he'll get into some kind of terminal pin. So I don't think it's possible to, you know, extricate White from the situation. This is, among other things, you know, the tripling of the f-file. Okay, he could take on c7. I have, what, knight f2 check? That looks pretty devastating, actually. I just win the exchange with other threats. I could actually just win a piece with rook takes f1. Okay, this does look like the only defense, knight f2, d2. Now, if I take on d2, if I simply take and then triple, the problem is if I just take, he just takes back with the bishop, and I'm just up a pawn. Maybe queen g6 is interesting, but the thing is he's taking on e4, and then he has this check on c4 will be problematic. Problematic for me because my bishop will hang on c5, so it's almost like, you know, here's a position where I see a lot of people like kind of play for direct attack, but I think that's probably a mistake. You know, you should probably just try to conserve your material advantage and just keep it simple. So knight takes, bishop takes, and we're just a pawn up. It's not very exciting, actually. This is a crazy move. I mean, you have to take back with the bishop and keep your rook extra well protected. So I think here it's, I mean, barring some unforeseen tactic, he's too tied down to everything, threatening g5. Mule Skinner, what's up? You won a nice game as black in the D3 French yesterday. You played d5 instead of c5. Well, it's funny because I thought, you know, you're like a real French player, and I think you know, I would think you would be, you're usually playing a structure based on d5. I would think you would be more naturally comfortable, you know, in a d5 structure rather than converting to the Sicilian. You're not really playing the Sicilian. And when you play c5, I mean, you can call it what you want, but it's really a Sicilian. So yeah, you can't defend this. Mastermind recaptured the wrong way. If he takes with the bishop, he's simply down a pawn, but it's like a doubled pawn. I guess white has some drawing chances after bishop takes d2. Mule Skinner, Chess Pro, everybody, thank you. Bear IRL, Roman used to play computers a lot on chess.net. Well, yeah, I mean, Roman played a lot on a lot of sites. Well, mostly like ICC. This guy who was a good friend of Roman's, and well, I mean, he was a regular in our circle. John Fanning was, like, you know, behind creating chess.net, and they were good friends. And Fanning was actually connected to the guy he was the uncle of the guy who started the file sharing site Napster. So he started chess.net, and Roman was involved with that from the beginning because he was like a good friend. But anyway, for some reason, chess.net, I don't know if it got messed up because of the... Actually, I don't know what happened to it. I never played on there. I never really was interested. But if they had paid me or something, maybe I would have. But Roman was playing these computers all the time for many, many years. He had perfected the art of, like, beating older computer programs, which would just, like, repeat the same opening again and again. He would study these variations like 25 moves deep, you know, even more. He had lines like in this, you know, Scotch Gambit or whatever that were extremely long. I mean, extremely long variations he would, like, perfect by playing hundreds and hundreds of games against the computers to the point where he could beat them with just, like, these totally rehearsed variations. They would just play the same variation again and again. World Loser Mule Skinner, Lousy Dirty Cheater, a new challenger. Quirk, you've got to re-challenge me because I'm usually playing with increment here, if you don't mind. You can challenge anything between 5+3 and 8+3, but I like to have some time to talk about the game and to shoot the shit about other stuff. Have you all seen Pawn Sacrifice? No, I never did. A new chess movie's coming out next week on the Korchnoi-Karpov match. I just referenced the Korchnoi-Karpov games by looking at one of my games against Nefedov yesterday in our Simul. Alright, I'm supposed to be playing the challengers who are subscribers first. So we'll play World Loser, Mule Skinner. World Loser, what's up? I was afraid I was, like, losing in the endgame yesterday, World Loser, but you were never winning. It was a little scary though. You had some passed pawns that I didn't have, but apparently I was never really in danger there, which made me feel good because you declined my draw, and I got a little bit scared after that I was messing it up, but I could have messed it up, you know. All right. I haven't played e4 against World Loser in a while. I've been playing mostly Slavs against him, and I've been kind of enjoying it because World Loser at least attempts to play theoretical openings, which a lot of people here on lichess tend to avoid. And I want to improve my, opening repertoire. So we are going to play the Sicilian. He plays the Najdorf, and yeah, let's try to challenge him in something sort of theoretical. I don't know anything else besides really bishop c4. We could experiment. I played a4 experimentally here, but I don't, know the theory very well. Anyway, let's try that. You might as well just learn something a little bit. Roman is still making videos on chess.com. Well, I hadn't noticed that. I mean, is it actually through chess.com or just like he's... I would assume so. Everything they do there is for them, so... yeah. The problem with Roman is that he was never able to really maintain a working relationship with anyone for an extended period of time because of his like personality conflict issues. I'm pretty easygoing, really. I mean, on a social level, you know, so it's not that easy to you know, to have like me as an enemy. It's pretty difficult, actually. Queen c7 here. Okay, I almost moved my bishop again, but maybe we should think about some kind of Anand, like knight d2. Anyway, I'd probably have to move the bishop again eventually, wouldn't I? Okay, I don't know why I'm hesitating here so much. I mean, queen d3. The thing that bothers me about queen d3 would be, I think this is the main line, by the way, and I can't remember what I'm supposed to do. Queen d3, knight c6 is kind of awkward for me. Although I could play bishop b3 there. Then he can gain a tempo with knight a5 later. But it really shouldn't matter, should it? Okay, queen d3, knight c5. Knight d7 to c5 could be another question, but yeah, let's just play it. We got to do something. So, anyways, I mean, I'm grateful to Roman for his help. You know, I wasn't. Maybe I overreacted years ago a little bit, but I'm not gonna just go over it 100 million times. So bishop e6 is a good move. Man, maybe I need to just take on e6. I kind of hate to do that, but what are my alternatives here? Bishop a2, knight c6 is a problem. Knight d2. Maybe I do have to do knight d2. There was recently a game between Anand and Mark Esserman, this American kid. Not kid, it's a man who wrote a book about the wonderful Esserman, Mora Gambit. Mark's kind of eccentric and weird. He did a kind of bad thing in the spring. He was supposed to play in a tournament and pulled out of it at the last minute, which is really very, very bad etiquette. This tournament I was playing in Balaton, Hungary. You should never do that when you're supposed to play in a round robin. It's not good to drop out when people, you know, like right before, days before the tournament starts. Knight bd7 now. This looks correct for him. Knight c5. I can castle, I guess. Our loser is getting faster. So what's up, guys? I haven't seen Pawn Sacrifice. It's good to hear new chess movies coming out. I mostly watch like science fiction, horror, and stuff like that. But you know, occasionally I'll watch the odd chess movie. But it's kind of weird to imagine a Korchnoi-Karpov movie now. I mean, it's so far in the past that nobody even, you know, remembers that. Wonder if I could play b3. Really weakening myself. Options here are pretty limited. Or loser, you're kind of fixated on the queen side. You don't want to develop your king side. You're making life difficult for me. Can we play like bishop a2 and just maintain the tension? What is even my plan here? I guess I could drop a knight on d5 too at some point. That would change the structure though. If we end up with a pawn on d5, we lose some of our positional advantage. I'm not sure I have a positional advantage here. I've got to do more research on this variation. I'm finding it difficult to play though. We're a loser. Could put up resistance against Anand, I guess. Alright, there's just like this constant pressure I'm feeling here. He's constantly threatening some kind of tactic. Bishop a2 is possible, but awkward. I was talking about b3 actually. You know, I'm not sure if he can exploit b3. Although there's like knight takes e4. Yeah, I don't see how he can exactly exploit it. Bishop takes c4, knight takes e4. It's not easy for him to exploit it, despite the weird, like, unprotected nature of the knight on c3. I don't really see how he can do it. Chess Pro, you played the Sicilian for your first time in your life and managed to win in an over-the-board game. Well, the Sicilian is a good opening, so that's probably not that difficult to do. Alright. Now finally he's developing his king side. We've got him developing the king side. That's a good sign, I think. He's at a standstill on the queen side temporarily. Though it doesn't mean he's always going to be at a standstill. Now what's up next? Bishop a3 looks very artificial. Though he's somewhat restricted. My move. He's attacking it again. Uh-oh. That's a problem. I wonder if I can play queen f3. I guess it's legal. I'm afraid I'm going to have to play knight to d5 to stop this. Occupying the square. Welcome guys to my chess stream, International Master Willam Paschall. I'm living in Budapest, Hungary. We're streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10 a.m. CEST like this. I mean, I guess the time will be changing soon, by the way. Bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Getting rid of my bad bishop. So to speak. We got a kind of trash compactor on the queen side. The full trash compactor is when you go like c4 and b4, but this is something anyway. We got him restricted spatially, and his kingside's not up to speed yet. He can sacrifice the exchange there, but I kind of felt that I felt that it wasn't enough material for him objectively. Do I go for the trash compactor like c4, f5, b4 here? Probably. Rather than pull my knight back, this way I get my pawns rolling. He has some counterplay, Alekhine's defense style here, definitely. But it's not a one-way street. I mean, my queenside is pretty powerful too. So we'll see. We will see whose pawn majority is the strongest. Try to punch through with c5 and get the pawns moving. I have c5 anyway. But I think his pawn is too strong. Okay, he's going to physically blockade it now. My pawns didn't have like perfect coordination. I can't really roll the b pawn forward. I've got the c6 square. Actually here I have knight to c4. What's up with that? Speaking of getting my pawns moving, this is probably a very serious move. Now the pawns are going to work. Can he seriously blockade here? Rook takes c7. Rook b1. Alright, he took with the wrong way. I mean, he has to take with the rook there. Or loser played too quickly, which is his one flaw. So what's going on if you take with the rook there? Is it an easy win? It's still an easy win. Rook takes c7, then I go down the b file, I guess. Rook b1. I'm just gonna eat the pawns and play rook b8 pretty quickly. Okay, world loser. Let me check the opening here real quickly. I'm sure that I misplayed this. Queen c7 is not the main line. It's actually fairly rare. For some reason, I thought Esserman played that move against Anand. Do you remember, world loser? It's not like Esserman is the greatest player in the world, but it's the most recent game I've seen. So this is a novelty, Queen d3. Oddly enough, I spent a lot of time on this move. It looks like everything's playable. Bishop b3, knight d2, bishop a2. I managed to play a new move. Well, at least according to the lichess opening explorer, which doesn't mean that much. You're basically missing all good games before like 1975, and a lot of like very recent games, as well as probably some other random games that have slipped through the cracks. So, but for the most part, you know, there's still some good games played by people who technically didn't have ratings, or they were submitted to the database without a rating. You got to really check with ChessBase or some kind of, you know, professional database here. All right, guys, we're gonna play Mule Skinner next. ICC, what's that? Mule Skinner. We haven't played our how do you say tabia variation in a long time, Mule Skinner. I'm not sure if I got to try out my most recent idea against you. Mule Skinner is also another one of Roman Chinchiashvili's favorite openings. The Bishop B5 Grand Prix attack. Roman systems, you know, I always thought of them as kind of cheap, but they're designed for players to have an easy repertoire they can learn quickly, and that's what it does, you know. And they're playable. This is playable. The Scotch Gambit's playable. No, Skinner, you're not supposed to change variations now, man. I mean, here I am, like, I've got this new idea lined up, and you're playing Bishop D3. This was Roman's favorite move. We discussed Knight H6 in this position, I think. Roman thought that was interesting. Maybe the only interesting alternative to the main lines here. Mule Skinner may have played this against me once before. Looks like I'm losing my stream or something. No, we're alright. We've got a very, very minor drop frame, 1%. If you guys have any trouble with the Twitch stream, just refresh it. It usually like has some bug-like qualities. Uh-oh. What is going on here? He just castled. He's supposed to take on D4. Is this homework or just Mule Skinner's been on vacation too long? So I can play Bishop G4. I guess I should. It's not like it wins or something, but Mule Skinner can turn it into a Larsen, closed Sicilian, with like Bishop E2, down a tempo or something. Larsen liked to do that. He would play like D3, F4, Bishop E2 in the closed Sicilian. Here he would really be literally like a tempo down if he does Bishop E2. Although he gets the white squared bishop, so he's probably still equal after Bishop E2. Bishop takes F3, Bishop takes F3. I won my tournament game yesterday against a 2160 player. It was really funny though, because I made like one mistake. Well, I literally made only one inaccuracy in the whole game, and it was like the one inaccuracy that made the guy, it made the guy like do something crazy and lose, you know. It's just kind of ironic. I mean, you play like a perfect game, and the one move that was like just very, very possibly a slight inaccuracy leads to winning the game. Now we're on our own. That's what Fritz used to say. That's how old I am. Like quoting the voice animation from Fritz 7. Okay, is this a threat to play E5? I wouldn't think so. He would lose his center if he does that, but I guess I could play like rook to B8. Is it a good move? Feels kind of time consuming. I wanted to play E6 here, but I'm like seriously thinking about E5 for white. Is that really a good move? It could be. Could be playable. E6, E5, knight takes F3, queen takes F3, queen D7, and then knight E4. This move looks awfully slow. Rook B8. I guess queen D7. That has its flaws too, though. I mean, my development is a little bit slow. So what's up, guys? Quiet in here today. My friend Zoltan Medved is online. Grandmaster Medved. I just took like a vitamin cocktail. I have a sore throat since I woke up this morning. Knight e2. That's kind of passive. I was a little scared of e5, as I mentioned. Here, we're certainly not in any danger, I guess. But it's still like White's position seems fine. He can lose a move, as he did in the game, essentially, and still be fine. Now, which way do we take back here? I guess bishop takes is more positionalish. But there's a school of thought, you know, that like pawn takes might be good to try to pressurize along the c file. Gosh, I don't really know. White's position is perfectly fine. You know, I don't want him to overrun me. Now I have to play like knight c6. Yeah, White's... I bet the computer thinks White is better here because of the bishop pair. It's possibly true. My white squares are a little bit sensitive in the position. But, I mean, we're talking about a very small advantage, you know, like less than half a pawn. I have to fix my my ratings on lichess have gone down like 150 points, 100 points. One day when I have some time, I'm going to play some blitz and build my rating up again. I dropped a piece against a 1900 player this morning when I woke up, trying to get warmed up. Alright. Mule Skinner, interesting system you got there. So bishop g4 is like almost like a positional trap. I feel like this is actually a mistake to go bishop g4. It's very interesting. I should just go about my business and not do that. I actually fixed his white square bishop for him. There's some argument that that was on a bad position. It was badly placed. This move, I don't know, that doesn't look right to me. You're trying to get the white squares, but you're losing dark squares. I know that Fisher said you gotta give squares to get squares, but I think in this case, I don't know, it might be a little bit too extreme. Let me see, knight e5, well then he'll just take over. If I castle, castling should be okay, no? Nothing fancy. I'll try to put my king on h8 if I can get there. But he's lagging in development. He didn't complete this queenside development with d3. I think he's kind of hope chess, you know, hoping I take and like liberate his bishop or something. Still white is fine, obviously. White may have a slight advantage, but he can't open it up too quickly, or else the f file would be to his disadvantage, I guess. So I may have to take on f5 at some point, you know, despite opening up that white squared bishop. I don't want him to ever play f6. That's a no-no. I need to be a little bit careful here about where I put my pieces. I guess I can play d5, but it's risky. I could also play knight e5. Really like to just connect my rooks and get my development completed. But it's not a very fun position. Black doesn't have any active counterplay. Even this move I'm not really fully satisfied with. I mean, it would have been nice to try to play like queen d7 and maybe force him to take, but I don't want my queen on a white square. So, Chess Pro 02 mentions the London Chess Classic. It's so weird that they called it that. I mean, like, how can something be a classic when it didn't exist like 5 years ago? But, okay, it's a name. I was really like jonesing to go to a good tournament. I'd really like to go to like Hastings or something, but you know, something with more tradition to it. Although the London Chess quote-unquote classic has a really good time control, I think, like slower than the normal FIDE official time control, which is awesome, you know. But I've got something on for an IM tournament. I've got to play for my team. Is organizing a big round robin with some strong GMs, and they're organizing an IM tournament simultaneously. So I've been asked to play in this IM tournament in November. It's hard to say how strong it will be. You know, not really strong, but hopefully not weak. It's obviously better for me to play in a GM tournament or something, but I'll probably get paid. So there are supposed to be 2 strong IMs playing, which is cool. You know, not like fishy players. So at least I get a chance to play without having to spend a lot of money to travel somewhere. That'll be in December. So the stream might be down for a week in December. Last year I was playing poker in Prague around the same time, the last couple of years. But the European Poker Tour is over. And I'm not playing much poker these days. Anyway, I don't have enough money, so time to stay at home and play some chess. Mule Skinner is playing excellent positional chess. God, it's like playing a rock. He's much stronger than my opponent from yesterday, I think. I would much rather play my 2160 opponent from yesterday than Mule Skinner in a long tournament game. He's just so solid. It's very hard to beat players like this. I mean, his rating is only 1985. I mean, he seems much stronger. His score is ridiculous. He's played me more games than almost anyone, maybe more than anyone, and he's only got like a 10% score. But if you look at the games, mostly he's just losing in the last moments due to time pressure and stuff like that. I mean, his position is usually good. I'm just suffering here with no counterplay pretty much the whole game. Bishop e5 is actually an interesting move, though. I have to be careful I don't get checkmated on g7. f6 is always a dangerous threat in such structures, and bringing my bishop off of g7 is a dangerous, kind of risky thing to do. But his bishop pair is so powerful here that I want to be careful. So welcome, guys. We're playing Blitz and Classical Chess till 12:30. I'm going to play with the subscribers first and then move on to the viewers. The other viewers, I don't think I have any other subscribers. Maybe Super Grandmaster 3000. Is that your new account there? See, this is Mule Skinner's downfall. He fell for a cheapo. He played a great strategic game, but fell for the tactical cheapo. But again, I talked about this last week. You guys have to be extra careful when, you know, a strong player gives you the chance to play what looks like a very strong move. It's often a trap. So he's gonna not lose material here. Damn. That sucks. Good thing I saw this. Well, at least I achieved, you know, the goal of trading off his bishop pair, which is pretty significant. You know, now that lone bishop, I can just kind of focus on the dark squares, so I should be at least equal here. G5, unfortunately, you know, he always has G3. I can't win a piece or anything. I think I best be careful. I guess I'm not winning at all. Just equalized. Well, I'll take it. I think the black stands a tiny bit better. I mean, I've got all my pieces a little bit better mobilized. His rook is still on A1. This rook is not that great on F8, but it's a good defender. Could also choke me in and get me mated, but we could say the knight on E5 is as good as the bishop. We're going to trade it off, maybe. But typical game for Mule Skinner, where he's totally solid, and it's hard to take him down, you know. I have knight takes G4. Nope, doesn't work. All right. So you can actually avoid exchanging knight for bishop here as well if he wants to. I don't know where to put my queen. I feel like H4, you know, it may just be a further weakening of White's position if he does that. So I'm going to allow it or even encourage it. He's preserving his bishop. Wonder if I put my queen on the wrong square. Damn, dude. That's a strong move. I should have put my queen on H3. H6. Man, come on. What are you doing? What is that about? He's like outplaying me. Yeah, I was actually lost there to H4. If he plays H4 to the previous move, he just wins instantly. So that's like, he never had a worse position until the move when he blundered and lost the game. I'm gonna say. He's better the entire game until that moment. Right there. I should have played Queen H6 here. Queen G5 is a serious inaccuracy. Apparently he wasn't winning. I thought he was. thought he had h4 here. Oh, he's pinned, right. Okay, he's not winning a piece. Well, that's a relief. At least I didn't blunder for once. Alright, man. Fantastic game as usual. So Super Grandmaster 3000. I guess that's Chess Pro. For Chess Pro's new account. My score... Well, maybe not, though. Super Grandmaster 3000. Are you Quirk, or... what's your new account, Chess Pro, dude? I mean, are you challenging me? Or are you not challenging me? I guess you're not challenging me, unless Quirk... Oh, Quirk is your new account. Okay. You played 200 games in one day? Okay. It's like, really? Because we're going to play the subscribers first. Lousy, dirty cheater. Yeah, I mean, I would much rather play with, you know, a tactical 2100 than like Mule Skinner. You know, I hate suffering like that. Yeah, I was thinking about this craziness, you know, like, well, there's like d4, g6, c4. d4, knight f6, c4, g6, g4. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen this too. I was thinking, is there a way to play this and not win the pawn, just play strategically with like d5? But objectively, it's correct to take the pawn. I think somewhere I saw d5 played, but I mean, for me, this seems better. It's like a Peertz. It's like White just played g4 randomly against the Peertz, and you took it. Or would you rather play a 15-year-old rated 1600? Listen, I played in the very, very strong Zalakaros Open in May in Hungary, and you know, I'm middle-aged, okay? I'm like the picture of a middle-aged person. I played 7 players who were like more than 20 years younger than me, and 2 players who were more than 10 years younger than me, okay? That's ridiculous. I mean, seriously. Seriously, it's... I was like irate, you know, like what is this? This is like a goddamn, excuse my language, it's like a scholastic tournament or something. I mean, it's not fair to play 9 people who are like, you know, I'm not 65 years old, you know. I'm like in the median of possible ages, and I played 7 out of 9 players who were more than 20 years younger than me, and 2 players who were over 10 years younger than me. That's crazy. Like, I wasn't even doing that well, you know. It's craziness. It's not good, you know. It's not good for your rating. I mean, these players are always gaining points very, very quickly, and they're stronger than their rating by nature. So if you constantly play, if you're paired every game you ever play in your life with a younger player every single game, I mean, you're going to be handicapped in your ability to gain rating points. There's absolutely no question about it. It's like you should play some people who are younger than you, and some people who are your age, and some people who are older if you're like a middle-aged person. I'm literally playing only people who are like 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you know, and a couple guys who were like 30. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, that's like, I just like handed over like 15 rating points because I was paired every round with a kid, you know. I mean, I don't even want to go back anymore. I might as well sign up for like the World Junior Championship or something. If you want to gain rating points, you should play in tournaments where there's all old people. And that's the secret. But it's very hard to find those kind of tournaments. I'm basically playing the old Indian now. Queen e1. The old Indian check or pribble defense. Do we have anything here? It looks like we might have takes and queen b6. I've got to be very, very careful though. There are some tricky lines like takes, knight takes d4, queen b6, bishop e3, knight g4, knight f5. If it wasn't for that, I'd be in good shape. Maybe queen b6 first, but then he has tricks on c5. So I don't really know what to do. We're in a little bit of a quandary here. Rook e8, man, my f7 pawn is weak. Like, I can't play rook e8 and my f7 pawn is weak. What am I going to do, like, when the f-file comes down here? I was beside myself, you know, to play 9 games in a row where, like, everyone was minimally 11 years younger than me or something, and most of them were 25 years younger than me, or 20. It was, like, ridiculous. Yellow Dragoon. Yeah, okay, the hurricane. Yeah, that's so weird when I read the news. I mean, I'm living in, like, New England, and we don't get many, like, hurricanes up that way, but there's some, you know. But it's so strange to hear about a hurricane hitting the UK. That's really bizarre. Anyway, man, I wish you, you know, health and safety. Lousy, dirty cheater. Have I played into, like, the main line of this strange thing? It's like something Shirov would do. The g4 against the Philidor. So I'm having trouble here finding a good plan. Finding a useful move in this position for black is a bit of a problem, actually. Maybe I should play, I don't know, g6, rook e8. Maybe rook e8 isn't that bad. I'm a little concerned about f7. So, like, Ireland, right, is supposed to get hit by the hurricane. Okay, I mean, I said the UK. Political incorrectness. Don't ask an American to explain the geography of the of any part of Europe or something. Anyways, it's just weird that there's going to be a hurricane, you know, hitting, like, what was once known as the British Isles. How often can they get a hurricane up there? That's so strange. Rook e8. It was category 2 the last time I heard last night. People are, like, denying climate change. Whatever. Alright, rook e8. We've got problems with our f7 pawn, but I mean, the only way you can really exploit that is with a direct hit. Sorry. Talking about hurricanes. I'm describing, like, f7 as a direct hit. GRSA man, please play here. It's called a marathon, dude. What happened to you, GRSA man? You just disappeared from my simul in the middle of the game yesterday. I wish I had time to stream marathons, dude. If I was, like, 20 years younger, I'd probably do that. If I had no responsibilities, I'd love to play a marathon. God, it sucks being middle-aged. I've got to play only, like, 16-year-old kids when I go to a tournament. Everyone's younger than me. All right, I'm gonna open the window here. We're getting a little lack of oxygen going on. So, Lousy Dirty Cheater started to go into the think tank when I played Rook E8, but I mean, it's easily the most natural move in the position, except for the fact that F7 is getting bombarded. That tournament looks good. Yeah, I've always wanted to play in one of the marathons, but I just don't have that kind of free time in one sitting. I have like free time here and there, but never for more than like an hour or two at a time. Now I might be able to take, but he's guarded H3, so it's a very good move. So I don't have takes, Queen B6, and, you know, Bishop B3, Knight G4 any longer. F7 is still a problem. It's just that it's hard for him to get access to F7. I'm curious if anyone ever declines this. I mean, nobody serious would play this opening with white, but I'm serious that I think black can decline this pawn, you know, and probably get a good game without capturing it somehow. Maybe just like D5. I don't know. Can I break through in the center? I don't want to fix... I don't want to give up my center without getting something. Without getting something good for it. Pawn takes, knight takes. Maybe I have like knight takes e4 and nope. There's this like huge construction crane 2 houses down from mine, and I can hear when it's like beeping, some kind of signal that it gives off. Alright. Bishop e3 takes, knight takes. Again, unraveling his pieces. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do here. If I take and play like knight to c5, I feel like this is actually dangerous, but it's, you know, it's thematic. Everything's protected. It's like a King's Indian, but I don't have g6, which is actually to my benefit because it would be more weak. My king side would be more weak if I had g6 in. G7's protected, everything's compact. It's kind of like a little like the Philidor and a little like the old Indian. But we're just starting to eat the pawn on e4, and I don't see a great way for him to defend, so Queen e7 instead of that. The Queen e7 is very convoluted. It would allow things like knight f5. You can't do that. I mean, you'd have to play g6. I can't play queen e7 once I play e takes d4 and there's a knight on d4. I could play it now, you know, once my bishop's attacking f5. I think this is just strong for me. So guys, we've got a viewer tournament tomorrow night. Slower pace. The longest time control allowed, I think, is 7+2. So I'd like that to be 10 minutes, but then you don't get to play that many games. We have a 2-hour window to play a viewer tournament tomorrow night. I'm going to do 7 minutes games, 7+2. Classical chess. Last week we did 5-0. Which is fun, but it's a little fast for streaming purposes. So I like to have more time to analyze the games and stuff. Then I have a viewer stream, a subscriber stream on Thursdays, and okay, this looks kind of crazy. He's just dropping his pawns and everything. I mean, I guess he can throw in like knight h6 check or some sort of trick, which will get a little scary for me. So maybe there was a safer way to do this, I'm assuming. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight h6 check, takes, queen g3 check. Well, I guess he's just losing a piece there, though. That's not going to help his cause too much. Nope. Well, I mean, if I didn't have f6, I would be... I don't even need f6 because he doesn't have bishop d4 check. Yeah, knight h6 just doesn't work. Alright, guys. So Lousy Dirty Cheater bites the dust. He's just toast now. Toastest with the mostest. Well, I mean, I guess I could do f5, huh? It's the Dutch. It's also stopping f5 from him. You know, it slightly weakens my king side, but it's actually more secure than doing d5. Pretty much anything else. We're just up a pawn with a very, very solid position. Pretty solid anyway, and we've played f5. This is an irritating practical move. Threatening bishop d4. I don't want to be greedy. And I also don't want knights on g5. So I'll play it like a kind of Leningrad Dutch. Bishop e6. I mean, I guess it's always, you know, okay for me here. I can't believe, okay, Gareev and Simon Williams played this opening. Simon Williams against Nevednici. Nevednici, like, he's, you know, he's a quality player. I mean, Simon Williams shouldn't do that. Gareev drew with Shankland in 2015. I think Gareev likes attention. He does all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, it looks like d6 has become the main move. Although the computer likes d5. Anyways, let's see how far we went into theory here. No, bishop g2 is a new move. Nobody's done that, but why not? It's not that bad. Can we get a transposition? No. I think that c4 is too slow. You know, you can do the same thing here without c4, dude. I mean, bishop g2 is debatable, but if you want to play this, you play like a Pirtz without c4. If the tournament is private, you can play long time controls. I'm trying to remember a GRSA because I did make it private once. I can't remember. It was problematic though because people like kept having trouble accessing the tournament. You know, I'll think about it. I'll check it out. You might be right. I will check it out. Okay, Quirk has a rating. Make sure the challenges are unrated. So you could be right about that, GRSA. But it's always troublesome to get people to find the tournament if you make it private. All right, let's play our Caro Khan. Cosmic Yeti, yeah, you're welcome, dude. I enjoyed doing the commentary. I think it's very helpful not only to other people watching, but it's helpful to me. You know, I can learn by doing commentary. So I don't learn from playing like really fast time controls, but the longer time controls where we can really talk about the games. So anyway, since I was young, I played the Caro Kann a little bit, and I never would play bishop f5 because, well, Just because, I don't know why, I chose to play like knight to d7 instead of bishop f5 and knight f6 sometimes. I didn't like bishop f5 because everyone played that, you know. I hate to be like, I like to be, you know, following my own path and not like just following the trend. So for whatever reason, I never played bishop f5, but then recently I decided that if I'm going to go back to playing the Caro-Kann at some points, it's just better than knight d7. I mean, knight f6, if you take with the e-pawn, might be playable, but I mean, is that a winning weapon, or what is that, you know? The only really good move is bishop f5. That's all there is to it, you know? Your rating's actually 2100. I don't know why it's glitched. Dude, it's a classical time control. You don't have a classical rating. I was just looking at this the other day. Actually, I was looking at something with knight on f3. So it depends on the move order here, I guess. Supposed to play, I guess, e6 first. White can play different ways here. I don't like playing against provisional accounts, but Quirk has a rating, sort of. He's got 100 games. Is this... Mikey Slice, thanks for subscribing. And the host of 19 viewers. So knight f4, yeah. Now I can't remember what I'm supposed to play here. This is like the latest, not the latest, but this is a fairly trendy variation. At some point you can take on f4. It's not really appropriate here. I guess I have to play knight f6 now. To stop knight h5. But I'm forgetting how the theory goes. It seems like Quirk, whoever he is, knows the theory pretty well. I should really have this committed to memory. Okay, queen c7, I guess. I don't remember queen f3 being a normal move in this line. But it makes sense. I don't really see a good move for black here. Knight d7, bishop takes e6. Bishop takes f4, bishop takes d7 check. We lose a pawn. Well, there is knight d7, bishop takes e6, pawn takes e6, knight takes e6, and then queen somewhere. I'm not sure he has enough for the piece there. I mean, I probably have to do that. But it just like seems to know exactly what he's doing. Okay, well, castling kingside. We're castling queenside. Not really sure which I'm supposed to play. I don't think this is really standard. I've never seen a game go like this. Someone made a mistake. It's very possible that it's me. I guess I could even do e5 though. It's kind of risky. e5. Like, why not e5? Quirk, it's odd. He doesn't have any bullet games because he's playing it kind of like bullet here. This is a new account. But Chess Pro, this is not you? You're claiming this is not you? Maybe I take here and allow check and play king f8. It looks pretty solid, actually. It just moves like instantly. Although I could castle, it almost seems better not to castle. You know, fortunately he can't move his g3 knight. I'm the guy with a strange name. You banned because of it. Ah. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't have anything personally, but I can't, like, you know, have people like chatting in the chat with a profanic name. It's an issue, you know. It's not very good for everybody. So I could sack a pawn, you know, in some positions here, but I don't see how that's going to really work. If I go, you know, and give up my f6 pawn, like move my knight to b6. Does it have like a perfect score? How many games has he played? I wish I could play something to trade pieces. I have no way to trade pieces. I mean, I could play bishop takes g3, but I don't really want to give up my dark squared bishop here, which I need to protect the dark squares. White chooses no time and has me in incredible pressure with perfect piece placement. So we're basically in a lot of trouble. Looks like flawless play by white. Sort of paralyzed, can't move anything. Yeah, it just looks like lost for black. Maybe I can play king g8. I don't know. What's the point of that? Crawl out? Like, I have no moves. I'm in like Zugzwang here. I have a move, but it doesn't win anything. I'm gonna lose on time soon. Queen e3. So there's something with bishop takes f7, it looks like. I don't really know what to do. But it's just too fast. I mean, no way I can play that fast in a tough position like this. Rook takes h2. It just doesn't contain any threats. That's the problem. He's threatening bishop takes f7. Or is he? Well, he kind of is. This might just slightly disrupt him for the moment, but I'm going to lose on time at least. Black is like paralyzed. You know, I probably can defend if I can find perfect moves. Every single move. I don't know if he's got a mate or something. But at least I'm going to lose on time. No, queen e3 wasn't the only move, was it? Yeah, it was only a move. He can't go to e2. He'll drop the bishop on g5. Yeah, it's only move. Well, I would say white should be at least like 2700 here on lichess. That's mate, right? Everything loses. Okay. Yeah, I'll just resign. Let's check the computer analysis. Zeros, all zeros. It says he has an inaccuracy. Sure, dude. What inaccuracy? He didn't win by force? A3 is an inaccuracy. It like wins by force. It's an inaccuracy. Sure, dude. I love these accounts. Alright, let's play knight to d5. The problem is like people constantly making new accounts. Nobody has an identity, you know. There is no way to know, you know, if this is a human or a computer. It played like a computer, but it could be a human. But you know, if you're a human, why would you keep changing your account every 2 days? You know, these accounts that just keep making new account, making new account, making new account. It's like they're getting new accounts because they're getting their other accounts banned. Unfortunately, people just like to look good. So anyway, let's play some real chess. Where I'm not playing like against an engine. Between the time usage, here actually, it's a bad move by white, but I'm not sure, like, theoretically which way I should recapture. Pawn takes or bishop takes. Bishop takes is safer, but pawn takes is gaining a tempo. I don't know. I mean, if I was playing this game in a tournament, I would take back with the pawn maybe, because he's so much lower rated. I would never play that last account in a rated game here on lichess. Like after that game, he's moving like instantly and plays like a perfect game. His inaccuracy was like the second best move that also wins by force. You know, I'll believe you're a real account when I see like some games where you've actually made some mistakes. I basically ask people to have at least 50 rated games, but it's really not enough. I mean, we probably need more. I would rather see people have like an established account with 500 games. You know, then I'll believe you're real. That's life. It's kind of like I could take and play Queen A5 check. I'm not sure that it really does anything, but it's probably not bad for black to just develop the queen out there. It's probably a little more solid to play this. Yeah, the last account, the guy comes on with a profane name on Twitch, and then, I mean, you have to look. You shouldn't just report him though, Chess Pro 02. In order to report him, you would need to like check his other games before you did that. I mean, you can report him if you want to, but I'm not going to report him till I look at his other games and decide if it's a pattern or not. You know, I would take 10 minutes to like, you know, go through his other last 25 games and see if it's like, you know, no mistakes, then it's definitely a, you know, computer user. That could easily be a master player, but, you know, let's see what the other games have to tell us. I mean, maybe he's really like a 2200 player who knows that line perfectly. The odds are not in the favor of that being the case. Yeah, that's true, Chess Pro. I mean, okay, you're gonna give them a little extra work to do sometimes, but I would do the research on my own, you know, first. The fact that he was like immoral doesn't really add to the abusive name on Twitch doesn't really add to his defense, but I think like people who have like abusive names are more likely to be cheaters. But I may be wrong. Maybe they're less likely to be cheaters. Bishop e7. Yeah, of course. Look at his line. His you know, his time usage was flat, and he played like perfectly. A3 is inaccuracy. I hate like the whole way that lichess determines inaccuracies. If you have like a +3 position and a +4, and you play A3 there to go to +3, it's like an inaccuracy, please. Like, a winning position is just a winning position. I mean, we don't need to say this is an inaccuracy. But I need to study the theory on that line because I did something wrong. Some slight inaccuracy for real for me. I'm not sure. I have to look it up. Knight to d5. This is actually... It's possible this is actually theory by some really weird move order. But I don't think it's really correct for white. This pawn sacrifice, this type of pawn sacrifice does exist in chess theory. Yeah, no, you can play knight to d5. We haven't played them before. Knight to d5 from the UK. He looks legitimate. Not very many games, but I think he's a real player. This is a really dangerous pawn sacrifice that knight to d5 is playing against me. It looks like it practically equalizes the game by force. I mean, I can hold on to the pawn, but I'm really going passive. If I play knight d7, it's like a disaster, you know? I mean, is it worth suffering like that to hold on to this pawn on e5? And I'm not even sure I can hold on to it in the long run. I've never played knight to d5 before. I mean, the opening is a little weird. Bishop e5, and then d4 is normal. But here he plays knight takes c6, which is very strange. And then knight b5. It could be a strange move order transposition here, e5. This is a very strong pawn sacrifice. I'm half tempted just to give the pawn back. Knight d5, bishop takes e7. I was trying to calculate like knight takes c3, bishop takes e5. That's possible. Knight d5, bishop takes e7, knight takes c3, queen takes e5. And then queen takes e7, queen takes c3 with slight advantage to white. I mean, the other option is just give the pawn back with castles, but it's kind of awkward. Castles, queen takes e5. He doesn't even have to do that. You know, now I definitely regret taking with the bishop here. You know, if I didn't think he was going to recapture, he wasn't going to recapture, I should definitely take with the pawn if this ever comes up again. Still, white is not worse. You know, there's even like some weird moves you could play here, like queen b6 in this position. The best I'm going to get, I'm lucky if I can even equalize here. Alright, we'll try to hold on to the pawn. I don't know what else to do. Yeah, right. Mikey Slice, what? He's in the chat. What? I don't think that's the guy that I played in the chat. Guy, whatever, dude. I could care less if, you know, people are trolling me. Here, white has massive compensation for his sacrificed pawn. I have to be careful not to be worse. White played this very well. Obviously, the drawbacks of this kind of system that white's playing are that it trades a lot of the pieces off. So it wouldn't really be valuable to a very strong player, but who wanted to try to win with white. But as far as like a lower rated player trying to draw or, you know, menace a stronger player, this looks like a really good line for white. Mikey Slice, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Chess Pro. So we'll see you on Wednesday then. I mean, in terms of playing. Yeah, this move looks like it could be an inaccuracy. I can play maybe knight to b6. My pawn structure is not great, though. As you can see, it's pretty hard to keep these guys protected. And I have to play f6, which is very ugly, you know. Not ideal. My knight is on a bad square, though it could get to a good position. It wouldn't have a permanent outpost there. Knight to d5 should be called knight to c5, or maybe knight to e4. Mikey Slice, nobody claimed that they were the person in the game. He just asked if I knew someone. The guy asked some questions. He didn't say, I'm the guy from that you just played. Like, what are you talking about? Now, I guess I have to play f5. Knight to d5 just said, this is the same account that's playing. No, I'm not talking about you, knight to d5. We're talking about the last game that I played, where I thought it was an engine. And if that player is in the chat or not, you know. I don't think so. This has nothing to do with you. Sorry for the distractions in the chat, guys. I really, you know, I wish we wouldn't pay any attention to anybody who's like trolling me. Basically, it just feeds the trolls. So we'll try to ignore them. You know, if anyone's being like a troll, it's a better strategy rather than feeding into it. Yeah, he's let me. Still tricky. It would be good to be accurate around here. Queen f6 might be a better move, but he's got rook d6 there. It's still a bit tricky. I've got a number of moves. Knight d7, but he's also got threats of his own. Knight d7 maybe. It gets a bit awkward. He's got knight h4 now. Then knight f6. Well, that was quick. Dangerous, though, for 1500, knight to d5. You played this a little clumsily, but I think that in the opening you had really totally legit compensation for the pawn. Now it's gotten kind of murky. So it's possible that I'm winning here. I'm never one to be really overconfident. Usually I'm kind of like underconfident. Like, I wouldn't even focus on it, okay? It's better not to talk about this computer cheater stuff. We'll let lichess sort that out. I don't want to publicly humiliate anyone, you know, so we're not going to name names and focus on it. Knight to d5 doesn't really have enough compensation now. He did previously. Previously, on the last episode, he had a lot of comp. The opening was really good. E5 pawn sacrifice. I shouldn't allow that. Now we should be winning, but it's still a little bit of work to do. It's just one pawn. That's an excellent move. Knight there. Oh man, you're making my life difficult, sir. That's another really strong move. Now he's winning the pawn back. Oh my god. Just winning the pawn back, equalizing. Oh, I just dropped the exchange. He instantly saw it. Now I'm actually losing. And he moves instantly. Is this a rated game? It's 1200 in bullet. Yeah, right. Knight to d5 is obviously human, but how is he 1200 in bullet? Okay, we still have practical chances here. I'm probably lost, but the game is complicated. We have some chances with the passed pawn. E3, E2, not so easy. I'm gonna need more pawns. What? He panicked. Knight to d5, you were just beating me. Oh my god. He's the strongest 1500 in the world, but he's definitely not a computer. Man, that was a good game. You played like a 2000 player. I mean, at least. E5 I liked. This has actually been played once. Queen F3. How in the world this is a game from 2017 is unbelievable. I think this is a really legit pawn sacrifice. I mean, the computer doesn't like it, but it looks good. So I feel kind of bad. Like, he was just totally winning. He had rook c7. Yeah. Nice game. Nice game, man. GRSA. He started months ago losing in order to play you for this moment right here. What's up? Yeah, dude, of course if the guy's 1400 puzzle rating. It's also suspicious when they're like 2400 puzzle rating. Only like tricks only is that good. You know how hard the puzzles are? They're not like normal puzzles. They're just like totally random positions that you have to play exactly the way that Stockfish would. This is a weird line, GRSA. Where did you get this from? I'm not sure the benefit of playing E3 so early. You know, what that is exactly. Okay, but it's not bad for white. It's still like more flexible to have this pawn back on E2 probably. Yeah. But GRSA, take your time. Last game, it's a very problematic variation for black to play for a win. I allowed too many piece trades, and then he gets that pawn sacrifice. It's okay. I was probably clearly better before I blundered, but knight to d5. You know, I'm not saying this just to make myself look good. I mean, he played like at least a lot better than his rating. Yeah, I don't know how you can be 3,000 in puzzles, honestly. You'd have to be a computer. He literally, Tricks only must literally be a computer. But I've played Bullet with him. I mean, not Bullet, but I've seen him play Bullet, and I see how good he is, like, tactically. But it's, like, outrageous, you know? I mean, nobody normally could do that. It's a very specialized kind of playing style where his game is entirely entirely on tactics. But that's almost inhuman. You don't see any of the other title players on here with a puzzle rating like that. You know, that's like a specialty thing. He has to specially train to do that. But it's not like classical puzzles, you know, where there are themes to the puzzles. They're just totally random positions that you have to find the exact continuation that Stockfish says is the best. I mean, I'm used to doing puzzles that are like classically sorted according to like themes and stuff. Like, I never was that into the tactics though. I don't do a lot of tactics problems in general. But it is good. It is good for your game. I should do more, but we don't have enough time. But again, Tricks only is a specialist. You know, if you see an average player with a puzzle rating over 2400, it's not really possible unless they're A, like an IM or better, or B, they're cheating, you know, on the puzzles. So there's only two possibilities, really. GRSA, I think I kind of like the way you're playing this. It's a weird hybrid opening. I don't really, you know, typically you don't want the knight on f3 in this kind of structure, you know, but it's interesting. I mean, this really should be here in this type of position that you're playing, where you'll have better control of the d5 square, and the knight won't be prone to getting hit by e4 and g5, g4 and stuff like that. It also doesn't block your bishop on g2. You know, so that's why this is kind of unusual, the way that GRSA is playing it. It's playable, but it's a little bit, you know, like the knight is considered to be misplaced here. Puzzles that have more, you're accustomed to doing puzzles which have more than one solution. That's not all that common. Well, I can see the motivation for cheating in the puzzles, dude. It's very simple. I mean, the people just want to have that big number next to their name, you know. Ooh, I'm like 2,800. You know, I mean, whatever. I mean, the motivation is... I think my puzzle rating is like 2,200. I try to do them too fast, you know, and I just like... I try to just try solutions without really working them out. So like half the time I'm wrong, but it's still useful. You have to have some patience to do it properly. I like the way that GRSA has coordinated his pieces. His knight is still misplaced, but it's not a big deal, I guess. It's basically like a closed Sicilian. The problem is his alternatives are not the greatest, you know. Knight d2 and knight e1 are both passive moves that relinquish control of the d4 square. You know, so there's no real forward plan for him if he moves his knight. I could also maybe have f4 at some point. Yeah, Chess Pro, that was a Filipino player. I mean, they're really into blitz. So there's a lot of strong Filipino amateurs who are extremely strong in blitz and bullet. A lot of them in the US too. when when you go to like tournaments and you hang out in the Skittles room, you just a lot of Filipino players tend to gravitate there, and Scarlet was, I don't remember who it was, like what their name was, but it was an account I remember. Not to say that like people can't be like 2400 in Bullet, but the tactics problems are a different thing. Tactics problems are not the same as like Bullet or anything else. It's a specific, kind of a specific thing. Rook c1, I'm actually trying to prepare d5, but I want to keep c5 protected in the event of like pressure along the c file. If I could play d5, I have a Marazzi. Maybe this rook should go to d8. GRSA playing h4. It's an interesting plan, trying to hold me up on the king side. It's kind of risky for White's king to move that pawn up. Is the puzzle tied to the user's puzzle rating? Yeah, I guess you're definitely going to get a higher difficulty puzzles. Queen e2 shifting with the queen position, which is a good move. Now I'm not even sure I want to go with the plan I was planning. The plan I was planning. Queen e2 is an excellent move. I don't even know what I want to do here. Bishop f6 I was thinking about. This is a totally new idea. Trying to expand on the king side without breaking with d5. It was more attractive to play d5 when the queen was on c2. Now I've more or less chickened out. I mean, GRSA is not 1300. I just feel like it's just I'm constantly saying this stuff, but you don't play like a 1300. And his openings are always good. There's another player, I'm a kiddie, an account here that would watch my streams sometimes. I noticed claimed they're 1100 USCF, but I mean, I remember when I was 1100 USCF. No, I was 1200 my first rating. I definitely couldn't play like that guy. Okay, some people just don't play tournaments and they get better. That wasn't possible until the last 20 years or so, to get better online. I've never been on this morning, but will. Your lectures on chess lecture help me. No way, G-Moves. That's awesome. There's some drawbacks to the last move I made. It's probably not a big deal. I was scared he could sack a pawn with d4. He can sacrifice a pawn with d4. It's probably not clear. I mean, ed, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes d4. It's the kind of line that I'm afraid a computer could bust on you. Positional pawn sacrifice. No, that's awesome, G-Moves. I mean, you don't hear that very often. He played it. I was just talking about this. Seriously? Positional pawn sacrifice? Maybe I need to consider other options here. Taking with the pawn or something. Wow. GRSA is 1300. And he played this move d4. What I didn't see clearly was like the pressure along the e file. I'm a little bit worried about. I do have rook f6 though. So knight takes, bishop takes, rook e1, rook f6, and I don't lose a piece there. But I think that you'll see white's sacrifice is justified positionally here. It's like an Aronian kind of thing with like knight b5, extremely deep. He could even like sack an exchange there with rook takes d4 maybe. Of course, this is not a typical 1300 type of move, but possibly very dangerous. But it looks like knight d5. It's definitely not the best. You know, he has a lot of promising moves here, like rook e1, knight to b5, and rook takes d4 possibly. So this is like time pressure inaccuracy, which gives black, I don't want to say a winning position because my structure is pretty bad. I mean, even if I'm up a pawn here, he's going to have some compensation. I could even play bishop takes b2. I'm up a pawn. Knight takes d5, bishop takes d4, c takes d4. C takes d5. Knight takes d5, bishop takes d4, c takes d4, pawn takes d5, rook takes... I'm up a pawn, but he has some compensation. I'm not sure this is even my best. But I mean, you know, for his rating, he's like 1300 going on. Well, that's his classical rating. He's 1300 going on 2000. I mean, if he can do this, that's an extremely subtle style sacrifice. He still has some compensation. 2 pawns down, but he's going to get at least 1 back. And I would think white would have drawing chances here. You know, maybe even more. Maybe. I've got to be careful to even possibly lose. This is a very bad move. You know, you have queen d2 there, and you're hitting everything on the board. My king is wide open. White really shouldn't trade pieces here. Maybe I shouldn't even trade either. Maybe I should wait, but I don't see a better way to do this. So, you know, if I'm lucky, I can reach an ending a pawn up. But he's not 1300. I mean, how do you have that rating? That's your classical rating. You're 1400 in blitz. I don't think I'm even winning this a pawn up. There's some chance, but I don't think I'm winning. Probably maximum draw for black because my structure is so bad. I have to like trade queens here, not to be worse. Now he blundered. He offered a draw and blundered. And then he pre-moved rook takes b7. So check this out. Check this out. This is like a 2100 game with white. But I mean, d4, it's an unbelievable move by white. It's the #1 choice. This is I mean, it's covered 5 times and you're playing d4. That's a master level move. You know, you're not 1400 if you can play that move. I mean, there's no way. You just accidentally like saw this is genius, okay? That is a brilliancy for white to play d4 there. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I'm serious. you know, you can't not be at least like 1800 to find that move. And even then, it's like an extremely strong move. Most people would be like afraid to give up material, and to calculate all the tactics that ensue after d4. This is the best move for white. It's an extremely complicated line. Like look at this variation, like e4 knight e5. It does look Aronian like, yeah. He heard when you said d4. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. All right, let's go. Potato Master. There is a slight delay, though, you know, and a lot of people aren't even listening to the stream. Still, even after that, he played it well. So, everybody is tough. There are no easy games. 1300, 1500. Everyone seems to play well. Potato Master. Potato Master. When did we play last? I don't know. The other day? I forget. Anyway, guys, we got like 25 minutes left for the stream today. But don't offer draws, you know. It can affect your psychology. Just play. Knight f3. You know, offer a draw if it's a dead draw. But otherwise, like, you'll be disappointed if I decline the draw and then blunder or something, you know. I had other students do that, you know. They'll like be excited that they played like 30 good moves and then offer a draw, and I decline a draw where I have a tiny advantage, and then they're like angry. Why didn't you take my draw? I said, well, it's a position, you know. I mean, I wouldn't offer draws like in blitz games almost ever, unless it's just a dead draw, you know. It's another thing if it's like a tournament game, but in blitz, if it's like rook against rook, you know, I don't want to do like a oligos thing where I try to flag people. If it's a dead draw, I always accept a draw. I'll even offer a draw if I have like 5 seconds left. Even if I have a minute and my opponent has 5 seconds left, I'll accept a draw with like rook, you know, rook against rook, or ops colored bishops, or just, you know, even rook and pawn against rook and pawn. It's immoral to play for a win there, in dead draws, you know. Okay, rook and pawn against rook and pawn, you're on your own. But in dead draw, ops colored bishop or rook against rook, I would always accept a draw, no matter what the time situation was, or something stupid like where there's no pawns left. Here I was thinking about queen a5 check, but he has c3, and I don't know if it's even really good for me to put my queen on a5 check, honestly. That's why I declined it, but it's an interesting continuation. The idea being queen c5. So in other words, if white were to play like knight c3, or bishop d2, I'd have the move queen c5, which would be very unfortunate for white. You got mad at me once, dude. I get mad at people for not accepting draws in simul games because yesterday I was angry too. It's just, you know, I get mad at people. I would get mad at people like because I was just frustrated. It's nothing personal. You know, I'm complaining all the time about flagging in the simuls. Don't I don't really mean it. I just you know, I don't like to lose, and I don't like getting flagged in the simuls. Yesterday I was complaining about SXPG, but I was kind of unfair. You know, he actually blundered and made some bad moves, and I felt like he was playing like I said, he was playing like perfect moves. I mean, I get kind of nervous and grumpy when I have like seconds left and I'm playing 10 boards or something. But in general, I have to be careful here. Okay, I actually looked at this position, Potato Master. I think queen c7 was the move the other day. Wow, there's an insane variation here. Knight d5, queen b7, bishop a6. I think I can't play tactically. I was showing this to someone else who plays the Accelerated Dragon. Another game where someone took on c6. You know, when people play blitz, they'll like censor or ban, you know, other accounts when they lose a game because they're mad, you know, right after the game. It's kind of a natural human reaction to want to like take out your frustrations when you lose and you're very competitive. You know, I did that on occasion. Like I would censor people because I was angry that I lost, you know. I mean, then like, you know, a few minutes later you're like, oh yeah, I'm being an idiot, you know, like, okay. But it's hard to keep your emotions in check when you're playing a very competitive game. I mean, that's how I get, you know, I get kind of tilted and frustrated sometimes. Yesterday during the simul, I had to play like, you know, 15 boards with like 30 seconds left. It was very awkward, and I get grumpy and kind of tilted. This is a bad move, rook e1. But anyway, like that's a question of the situation, I guess, in the simul. You know, I don't know what the etiquette is. There is no precedent for online chess simuls. You know, like this didn't exist in the past, so I don't really know what to think about them. I want to play knight g4, but it feels like a cheapo. Queen b6 check, bishop e3, queen takes b2, bishop d4. Objectively, it's probably best to just castle and consider my development first priority. Learning how to channel that anger into something productive is the key to getting better, though. Yeah, one of my well, it's not only anger when you lose. It's like anger about outside distractions. Different people have a better tolerance for this kind of stuff. I used to, and I still get angry when like people like make a lot of noise near the board and stuff. Well, h3, good move. We're not going to let you play bishop e3 yet. One of my students sent me a message that they were upset about their, you know, opponent getting up from the board constantly during the game this weekend, and I don't think that's really fair unless your opponent is like leaving the playing room on a regular basis, which at that point it becomes a question of them, you know, upsetting you, potentially cheating, like, you know, stuff like that. You shouldn't get angry that your opponent is getting up from the board constantly. But you can get upset about other things. I get upset about like noise distractions and stuff like that, or people kicking my feet or putting their feet under my, you know, physically messing with me somehow. Eating at the board, like in your face, like a huge sandwich or something like that. Other disgusting behaviors. You know, that's hard to tune out, you know. But obviously your psychology is dependent on many factors. For me, it's like very dependent on if I'm tired. You know, one day I'm going to be a lot more sensitive than other times. I guess we'll sacrifice the exchange here. It's kind of speculative, but fun, and definitely black has compensation. It's pretty sick to smash your laptop over a bullet game. You know, I could kind of see, I could see if there was a lot of money on the line, or it was like a tournament game or something, but then again, you could see it happening. Not really sure where to put my queen here. White has defenses here, very, very nasty ones. I guess I put my queen on the wrong square. I wanted to attack something, but I should have gone to b4. Queen would be much more active there, you know, laterally, and also even attacking e1. So queen h3, a very, very bad mistake. Losing at least a tempo. Potato Master missed queen f3, which not only defends against the threat of getting forked, but it also threatens to win my queen with bishop takes f7 check. And in that case, I would have had to play something like queen b4, just escaping. And I don't know that I have enough compensation now, you know, maybe, but I'm getting kicked back. You know, here he's losing his queen. Sorry to slow roll you there, but I wanted to show everyone what was going on. Man, my throat hurts again. Going to chess tournaments and like shaking everyone's hand. All these like sick people. I played poker on Friday night. This guy came and he was sick. It's like, dude, don't go to the poker game if you're sick, you know? I mean, you don't want to like make everyone else sick. Yeah, but I had a WFM complain I got a call during a game. Well, dude, in where I'm from, like, if you get a call during a game, you lose the game, like, instantly. If your phone rings or makes a sound during the game, in FIDE rules, you lose it immediately. I mean, there's just no question. That's the way it should be. There should be no cell phones. I was getting pistons a la Karosh because the arbiters weren't enforcing, like, no cell phones in the room. Their little kids, like moms, were, like, using their cell phones in the room. I mean, that's totally against the rules. Like, there's no way there should be, like, any players or their moms, like, with cell phones in the playing hall. Alright, it's over. We've got time for a couple more games. Potato Master making a lot of tactical mistakes. This is a good move, dude. On several levels. I mean, you got h6, rook takes g6. He doesn't want to give up, which is, you know, a good trait, but it's a little bit late now for white to save the game. Now I can play h6. There's no rook takes g6. Dude. No, I'm threatening c4. Potato Master. Alright. Thank you for that. Let's go back to the challenges. Austrial 8+3. Rated from Beer Boy. I don't play rated. GMM. This will probably be the last game for the stream anyway. Austrial, it's 8+3. We're going to wrap it up with this one. Unless he's like provisional. He's provisional. Whatever. Alright, man. Just don't be a computer, okay? Because I don't want to waste my last 15 minutes playing with a computer. See, that's the thing that pisses me off. I don't want to play computers, so please don't waste my time if you're a computer. That's the thing that pisses me off the most, you know, the wasting of time. That's why I don't play people who have less than 50 rated games. The chance of them being like a troll or like a computer cheater is much higher. So I don't want to. It's happened to me before, like the last game I played against a provisional player, and they're like a computer. I can't teach my students very much, you know, or my followers or whoever, by playing computers. I can't even play well because I'm so terrified that people are computers half the time. If I start to suspect that someone is a cheater, I play dramatically worse than I would normally. I have to be careful here. I mean, he has this dark squared bishop, which is pretty annoying. I don't like the way I played this. Definitely not best. I shouldn't give up the bishop on c3 unprovoked. I'm just kind of tired and rush the move. I mean, queen a5 is good. That's probably not the best move either. There's something more like fundamental and developing. He's losing a pawn here. White has some compensation, but not really enough. Gmu says, I might have under 50 games, but I don't cheat. I have 2 webcams up when I play, because I do have a lot of computer-prepared openings. 2 webcams? Oh, God, dude. You got a serious setup. I was like, webcams. I thought you were talking monitors. Oh man, my throat hurts. Don't tell me I'm gonna get sick now. Come on. Alright. Pawn takes pawn. It's definitely not a standard pawn sacrifice here by white, but he has some sort of compensation. I'm honestly not sure which way to take. I guess this way. His dark square bishop provides him, you know, as bad as his structure looks, and he's down a pawn. I mean, he does have some things going for him, you know, positively. The bishop pair is a real asset here for white. I'm also lagging in development, you know, so if I were a computer, it would probably be over for white, but I'm definitely not a computer. And my development is really frighteningly behind. Maybe I need to play... whatever I do, there's like weaknesses in my position, though. It's kind of awkward. It feels like a queen b6 Sicilian or something. White has compensation. Yeah, dude, people cheat in bullet chess. I mean, if they're professional, they can even do that. It's sort of scary to think that anyone would go to that length, you know, to cheat at something, especially when there's like nothing really at stake, you know. Imagine if there was something at stake. Like, it's unbelievable. I'm afraid for our society. People are cheating in unrated chess games. And a lot of worse stuff going on, but white has compensation of definite proportions here. 2 bishops look really strong. His pieces are reasonably coordinated. Castles is kind of a no-brainer. It's not like he's going to castle queenside, so that was weird. I mean, I didn't really think he's got much of an option there. Now the question is, where do I go? E5 has some arguments for it, but I also have some disadvantages to that as well. So it's really a tough call. No matter which way I do this, he's going to have compensation. I'm going to play it one way. You know, you can only play it one way. You can play it with something like having weaknesses on the dark squares or having weaknesses on the white squares. Like, either way, he's going to have some stuff. Pick your poison. You know, but I think I don't want to just blindly castle into an attack. I'm keeping kind of options open as far as castling goes. so that I have the ability to castle on either side. 2 days ago, when dude was banned in the middle of our game. Oh yeah. I'm so sorry that we have to even discuss this constantly, you know? I mean, it's really irritating and boring. But unfortunately, that's part of the real world that we live in. It's sort of unbelievable, you know, the number of grandmasters that have cheated in chess. Looks like he's losing a piece. Bishop g5, e4. Bishop takes f6, pawn takes d3, queen takes d3, pawn takes f6. I'm very lucky. Because I think white has a pretty interesting position. I wouldn't mind playing white there, being a pawn down. I think he has enough compensation. It seems like that's been the case all day. Like I keep like taking pawns and having to be the one where the other guy has the initiative, which is funny because normally I prefer to be the one to sacrifice and not to. I was playing poker online full time for 7 years. That's why I didn't play chess virtually at all for the period between 2009 and 2015. That's the reason I hardly played at all chess. I would play like online blitz where I was doing like knight h3 and knight h6. I was just messing around. I wasn't playing chess seriously at all between those years. That's a long time, you know, to not play and improve as a player. I basically stood still in time between 2009 and 2015. Queen takes g5, but poker, you know, it's sort of died in terms of popularity and the legal problems that it faces, and it's just not as viable as it once was, for me at least. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're up a piece. I hate to fix the structure, but I don't really want to waste any more time. Maybe I just take on e4 and play queen e7, and I can deal with that. Yeah, this looks clean enough. Queen e7, and we're castling kingside. You know, I don't like playing provisional players, as I said. Austriel's legitimate, but you know, he could easily be a computer too. So in the future, I just want to play challenges against people who have, as I said, at least 50 games, and preferably even more. What is your classical rating? What are your classical rating on lichess, guys? There's a very big streamer on here. I was saddened to his ICC note having, while playing on ICC, I used the computer chess program. Oh god. Well, again, I don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to name names and do that. So we're not going to like publicly humiliate people. I'm wondering, should I play this? This is kind of passive. You know, like, even queen f6 would compromise my structure. Dude, nothing surprises me. But I don't like constantly talking about the computer cheaters. It's just like depressing and boring. I don't want to ignore it, but we've talked about it a lot today. It's old. I would like the stream to be a little more positive, if possible. We can turn it around, get some pressure on c4. Or not. We have a tactic? Yes. We have bishop takes c4? No. Alright, we gotta change change directions. Let's activate our last piece though. Dvoretsky's principle of the worst piece. When you don't know what to do, I mean, I guess he didn't invent this, but he told me personally. So I feel like it's his principle. If you don't know what to do, just improve your worst piece. It's good advice. Let's do the same thing. Also, good practical move. h3, avoiding back rank issues. We're up a clear piece, guys. Tomorrow night is my subscribers. No, tomorrow night is my. Sorry, is my viewer tournament. We're going to be playing 7+2. 7+2 tournament here on lichess. Bring your computers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure that some of you will, but hopefully not you guys. Damn dude is not giving up. Practical fighter. People are getting good at defense though, more than I think they used to be. I have noticed that. The skill, you know, it takes a lot of time and practice to learn to defend. A lot of people fight very, very hard when they're like in lost positions against me. Protagon, thanks for resubscribing. Gmoves just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Yeah, guys, I think for another 2 days at least, the subscriptions on Twitch are even like discounted still. Thank you, Gmoves. Thanks for the compliment earlier, by the way. So he's got this pressure. We've got to bring pressure to bear on him. He's kind of killed my bishop. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, damn, dude will not give up. All right. How do I free my bishop from the hell that it's living in? I was just thinking about maybe sacrificing my bishop for his center. God, this is kind of awkward. And I've got to let his king in the game to get my king in the game. But eventually, we're going to get over here and free our bishop. It's like I played the Blumenfeld quite a bit, and this is like a typical Blumenfeld thing. And this is irritating. I made it an accuracy. First, I have to go rook e8. I mean, you're like a piece down and you're defending it perfectly. Most people would give up hope at that point. It's pretty amazing. I would certainly have given up hope by now. I don't know. Damn. F6 a practical try. Dangerous to leave that pawn on the board. Damn, dude. Sort of like Unreal defense down a piece. How he's like spatially messing me up. I guess I'm just gonna have to like lose a pawn. Is h5 the best? Perhaps. And White's defensive skill is unbelievable. Piece down. I'm like barely winning. He like moves instantly. The World Chess Network is now Chess Stars. That's insane. I've never even heard of that. Chess Stars. Is this something new? Chess.net. Okay, chess.net is something else. There was this thing the other day. I was remembering it. I was playing on a chess site and I forgot what it was called. That's really insane, but seriously. Damn, dude, this is absurd. I don't know how to make progress here. Something weird about that game. I guess I'm just winning. I don't know how to win, though. That's the problem. I have to play rook f5. I just didn't see how to make progress after king e4. That's why I don't play unrated accounts. I don't know. The guy defended like the best I've ever seen down a piece for nothing. I guess I'm technically winning, but I allowed a repetition there. But I had to allow the repetition. I was like forced at the end. Rook e7. I would have had to find. Yeah, this is winning, but it's hard to see that in my current state. Weird stuff. Love to end the stream on that game. It's good stuff. Quality chess. Allowing a draw in a winning position. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night. It's going to be classical tournament 7+2 7 p.m. CEST. Thanks to World Loser for being here to moderate. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.